Now, I've done an awful lot of Liverpool press conferences in my time, but there's no denying that this one was a little bit different and a little bit special as well, because of course Liverpool are just 1 point away from securing the Premier League title, and they can get that point this weekend when they face Tottenham at Anfield on Sunday. So, as you would expect, really, it was very, very busy here at the AXA Training Centre, and of course a very, very good mood around the place as well, because everybody's very excited about what's to come. And obviously a lot to talk about with the manager, of course, in this press conference too. Now, as you would expect from him, and we know what he's like, he's a very cool customer, he did a lot of playing down in this press conference, didn't really want to talk about what could come. Very, very focused on the idea that Liverpool have got to get over the line simply. I mean, it's his job to get that point, isn't it? And he can't be thinking that it's done and dusted by any means. So he did an awful lot of playing down, as I say. But there was an awful lot of other interesting points in this press conference. And actually, the point I want to start with really is a big talking point from the season as a whole, and something that's really picked up pace, really, I think, certainly from rival supporters at least, is, you know, because it's been clear for quite a while that Liverpool were going to win the league. I think there have been attempts to kind of do down that achievement a little bit and suggest that this is a weak Premier League season, and that is the reason that Liverpool have run away with it. Now, that question was put to Arne Slot. Did he believe there was any justification for those accusations at all? Did he think it is a weak Premier League this year? And big smile on his face when he answered this one. He said, everybody can have his own opinion, and the nice thing in life is that if you have your own opinion, you can share it with everyone. But very much a sarcastic tone in his response on that one. And he was pushed a little bit further and said, well, what is your opinion on this? And he said, in my opinion, it's a real difficult league, because that has been my experience. It has never been easy to win a game. And he added to that, look at the race for top four at the moment and how many clubs are involved in that to qualify for the Champions League. And he also mentioned the fact that there's so many clubs around Liverpool who maybe spend more money than they do, because that real spending power is there in the Premier League. And I think what that does really, isn't it, is it gives you that kind of strong middle part of the table. It's something I've been speaking about all season. You face a Bournemouth away or an Aston Villa. You can even go to West Ham or a Wolves, for example, and you look at the quality of players they've got. So I would agree with Arne Slot, and I think he is playing it down. The idea that this is a weak league really is total nonsense, isn't it, really? And I think he was quite keen to get that across in his answer. And I think any attempts to do down what Liverpool have achieved this season really, I think they come from a place of bitterness rather than any legitimacy, really. And I think Liverpool are winning a very, very strong league, arguably one of the strongest Premier League seasons we've ever seen, really, when, as I say, you look at that quality that's all throughout the team. So clearly I think Arne Slot agrees with me on that one, and I don't think, even if there was any truth to it, it would take away from the joy that Liverpool supporters are going to feel on Sunday if Liverpool do get over the line. Now, a couple of other interesting areas for discussion in this press conference, and one is a lot of them actually surrounding kind of the team news coming into this one. And you may have seen this one. This is another one that's doing the rounds on social media at the moment, rumours and suggestions that there is a clause in Darwin Nunez's contract, or was part of his move from Benfica initially, whereby Liverpool, if they were to start him for one more Premier League game, would have to pay €5 million to Benfica. So that report, originating in Portugal, was suggesting that is the reason that Liverpool are slightly reluctant to play Darwin Nunez again, and that's the reason he's not been in the starting 11 recently. So Arne Slot was asked about this. Is this something that's in your thinking? Is that the reason we haven't seen much of Darwin Nunes? And again, he kind of shot this down completely. Again, with a smile on his face, he asked the journalist who asked him this question, do you always believe what journalists say? Me neither. That got a few laughs from everyone, because of course he's doing us all down there, isn't he, and giving us a little bit of stick and giving us some back, as he is absolutely entitled to do. But he went further on that and said that, look, I've not got any awareness of this clause. It may exist, it may not. He said, but if it did exist, Richard Hughes, the sporting director, would never tell me about that. He never gets involved in team selection, and therefore I wouldn't know if this clause existed. So I guess what we can read from that is the reason that Darwin Nunes isn't starting games at the moment is because he isn't hitting the standards. He's not training better than Jota. He's not doing enough to get himself in that starting 11. And I'd say that's not a huge shock, is it? If that's the case, he's been very up and down in terms of his consistency over his Liverpool career. And so that a manager is not selecting him in the starting 11, I wouldn't say is a huge shock, or that there needs to be a big story behind it. But of course, Arne Slot casting doubt on any suggestion of a €5 million clause. So I think the possibility is there for him to start again this season, but whether he will, as I say, it's all down to the manager's selection, isn't it? Because he has had that inconsistency, and we do expect him to leave this summer, and Liverpool will cut the losses on that one. So a shame it's come to that, but clearly I don't think it's anything to do with the clause that he isn't starting at the moment. Now, elsewhere in terms of the team news as well, he was asked about Conor Bradley. Of course, he's been in the team recently. He's come back from injury. Trent not quite ready to start, or wasn't at Leicester when he came back into the squad. And he was asked about, is Conor Bradley ready to do 90 minutes now, because he hasn't quite been recently. And he said, we'll have to see over the next couple of sessions how he gets on. Obviously, he's been back in training for a while, so you would certainly hope so. But he was kind of asked in the mindset of, I think, trying to drag the manager out on the Trent Alexander-Arnold situation. He was asked basically, is he ready for 90 minutes? And also, does he need some more games now to get some experience to prepare himself for a full season? Because he's obviously not had that opportunity. But the manager didn't want to bite on this one either. He kind of spoke up, talked up Trent Alexander-Arnold and his quality, described him as having another world-class right-back that's sometimes been there instead of Conor, and that's been the reason he hasn't maybe started many games. So the manager not wanting to give too much away in that one, as I say, just already talking up Trent. So we'll see what that means. Is Trent ready to start this one? If not, I'm sure we'll see Conor Bradley, but will we see Trent off the bench? And I think the most interesting part of this is the long-term implication. Now, does he start Conor Bradley? Say the league gets wrapped up this weekend, who starts at right back over the remaining games? Is it Conor Bradley or is it Trent Alexander-Arnold? And I know Jamie Carragher said that he thinks it should be Conor Bradley, and I am minded to agree with that, really, in that it's not Liverpool's job in that moment to give Trent Alexander-Arnold the best send-off, is it? We know he's going to Real Madrid. That's going to be confirmed soon, we expect. And as I say, it's not Liverpool's job to make sure he leaves in the best possible way. Their job at that point really is to prepare themselves for the season that's going to come, and we expect that Conor Bradley will be the first choice right back then. So if that is the case, give him the minutes, give him the experience, make sure he can get used and improve those relationships with his teammates on the pitch. For me, I would like to see Conor Bradley start all the remaining games, really, presuming that Trent is not going to be ready for this next one. But as I say, it's a fascinating kind of storyline that's going on into these. Do let me know your thoughts on that one, actually. Which right back would you prefer to start? But as we say, we'll see what the manager does, but that's going to be a really interesting one. And elsewhere in terms of the team news, he was asked about Joe Gomez, and he said he's not ready yet. He's hoping he'll be ready for either the last game or the last couple of games. Hopefully he can come back and play some part, because he has played a role this season. He has been important to the squad, hasn't he, outside of that injury? And he's been important to the squad as a whole generally for many years now. And I think there's a real big chance that he leaves this summer, so it would be nice to see him get a send-off, and of course to leave with the Premier League winners medal. So that will be very, very nice, but hopefully back soon and we can see him over the last couple of games. So I'm going to wrap it up there by just saying that looking forward to Anfield so much on Sunday. I mean, they might lose this game, might they, and they might not win the title, but got a lot of confidence that they will get it over the line. At the end of the day, this is a huge day for Liverpool Football Club, isn't it? There are fans who are going into that ground who've dreamed of this moment for 3 decades now, who will finally get to see Liverpool secure the title and then have a few games then and actually lift the trophy in front of supporters. And it really is magic. I mean, I was there for the game when they lifted the trophy without fans in there, and it just wasn't the same. And I am so looking forward to it for this reason. I think it's going to be an absolutely incredible and emotional occasion, so can't wait to get in the ground on Sunday. Very much looking forward to it. And let's hope Liverpool can put on a performance worthy of champions, or by any means, by hook or crook, just get the point they need to get them over the line. And I'm sure it will be absolutely wild at full time in Anfield if that is the case. So as I say, I'm going to leave it there and just say thank you, by the way, for getting me over the 30,000 subscriber mark. Can't believe it. Thank you so much for that. I really am appreciative of everyone who watches and engages with the videos, and the growth on the channel is just absolutely crazy to me. So a million thank yous to everyone for that. But of course, I'm going to ask you, if you're new to the channel, if you can subscribe, why not get on board? 30,000 other people think this channel's good, so you might as well subscribe. And if you can like the video, that is always massively helpful as well. And of course, I will see you all at Anfield on Sunday. Very much looking forward to it. See you then.